The study of ancient civilizations often conjures images of their most celebrated epochs: the pyramid-building frenzy of Egypt's Old Kingdom, the zenith of the Indus Valley civilization's urban planning, or the philosophical flourishing of classical Greece. While these periods undoubtedly shaped the course of history, a closer examination reveals other fascinating eras, less widely known, that offer profound insights into the transformations and nuances of these societies. These periods of transition, innovation, and societal change, though perhaps not as monumental in popular imagination, provide a richer and more complete understanding of the ancient world. The first intermediate period of Egypt, 2181 to 2055 BC, followed the Old Kingdom, and is often described as a dark age due to the collapse of centralized authority. However, contemporary scholars view it as a time of significant change and transition. The pharaoh's power waned as regional governors, nomarchs, gained prominence, leading to a decentralization of power. This shift impacted the Egyptian economy and society. The construction of elaborate tombs and access to funerary texts, previously limited to the elite, became more widespread. This suggests a redistribution of economic power. While grand monuments were no longer built, cultural activity thrived, particularly in provincial towns. The emergence of significant literary genres during this period suggests a shift in cultural dynamism from royal centers to regional areas. The absence of a strong central government led to a political division within Egypt, with power centers in Heracleopolis and Thebes. Around 2125 BC, Thebes initiated a movement towards reunification, culminating with Mentuhotep II uniting the country and marking the end of the first intermediate period. The traditional negative view of this period reflects the perspective of later centralized dynasties. However, decentralization fostered a wider distribution of wealth and cultural expression. This suggests that societal dynamism and cultural development are not solely dependent on centralized control. The eventual reunification of Egypt highlights a recurring pattern of fragmentation and consolidation in Egyptian history. The Indus Valley civilization, recognized for advanced urban centers like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, flourished around 2600 BC. However, the late Harappan phase, 1900 to 1300 BC, reveals a gradual decline and transformation. During this phase, large, well-planned urban centers broke down, and meticulous urban planning, advanced drainage systems, and standardized weights and measures disappeared. The late Harappan phase saw a shift towards smaller rural settlements. Archaeological evidence indicates migration and abandonment of post-urban sites towards the end of this period. By 1800 BC, most major Harappan cities were deserted. Climate change, specifically shifts in monsoon patterns, likely made agriculture difficult, prompting migration eastward towards the Himalayan foothills for more reliable rainfall. Despite the decline, the underlying cultural elements of the Indus Valley civilization persisted. Archaeological data suggests late Harappan cultural traits continued until around 1000 to 900 BC. While cities and centralized administration faded, cultural identity and aspects of the Harappan way of life influenced later societies. The late Harappan phase demonstrates the vulnerability of urban systems to environmental changes and the adaptability of populations. The persistence of Harappan culture highlights the enduring nature of cultural identity, and the phase serves as a case study illustrating how environmental shifts can trigger societal changes. The Minoan civilization flourished on Crete during the Bronze Age and is known for its magnificent palaces at Knossos, Phaistos, and Malia, which emerged around 2000 BC. These complexes represent the pinnacle of Minoan culture. However, the preceding pre-palatial period 3100 to 2000 BC offers insight into the formative stages of this civilization. The early Minoan period saw advancements in crafts like pottery and metallurgy. True bronze metallurgy became widespread around 2500 BC, marking significant progress. Social complexity also increased, with society transitioning from clan-based villages to a more urbanized and stratified structure. The pre-palatial period was characterized by small agricultural communities that cultivated crops and raised livestock. Trade networks existed, as evidenced by obsidian from Milos found in pre-palatial sites, indicating early maritime activity. Towards the end of the pre-palatial period, population increased at sites like Knossos, Phaistos, and Malea, accompanied by major construction. Elite burials emerged, suggesting growing social differentiation. Connections with the Eastern Mediterranean increased, evidenced by ivory, scarabs, and stone vessels. The pre-palatial period was a crucial developmental phase where key aspects of Minoan culture took root. Trade and contact with the Eastern Mediterranean highlight the interconnectedness of ancient Aegean cultures. The emergence of elite burials signifies the consolidation of social hierarchies that led to the centralized administration of the palatial system. While the Shang dynasty is generally recognized as the first historically confirmed dynasty of China, the preceding Xia dynasty, 2070 to 1600 BC, holds the traditional title of the first dynasty in Chinese history. For a long time, the existence of the Xia dynasty was debated among historians due to a lack of contemporary written records. However, increasing archaeological discoveries in recent decades have provided growing support for its historical reality. The Xia dynasty is believed to have been situated in the Yellow River Valley, the traditional heartland of early Chinese civilization in what is now northern China. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Xia dynasty descended from the Longshan Neolithic culture, a widespread culture in the Yellow River region known for its millet cultivation, the domestication of pigs, cattle, and sheep, as well as advancements in silk making and the production of distinctive black lacquered pottery. The Xia dynasty represents a crucial evolutionary link between the late Neolithic societies of the region and the more distinctly urbanized civilization of the subsequent Shang dynasty. Although no definitive examples of Xia-era writing have been discovered to date, many historians now believe that the Xia people possessed a writing system that served as a precursor to the oracle bone script of the Shang dynasty. This suggests a continuity of intellectual development leading to the fully developed writing system of the Shang. The most compelling evidence for the Xia dynasty's existence comes from archaeological excavations conducted since the 1960s and 1970s. These excavations have unearthed urban sites, bronze implements, and tombs in the same geographical locations cited in ancient Chinese historical texts as belonging to the Xia period. These findings provide tangible support for the historical accounts that describe the Xia dynasty. According to ancient Chinese legends, the Xia dynasty was founded by the hero king Yu the Great, who is credited with successfully controlling the devastating floods that plagued ancient China. Yu's legendary efforts in dredging rivers, building dams, and constructing canals earned him immense respect and ultimately led to his ascension as the first ruler of the Xia dynasty. This foundation myth of the Xia dynasty and its association with flood control has remained a significant part of Chinese cultural memory. Despite the limited direct evidence compared to later dynasties, the Xia dynasty holds immense cultural significance. The term Huaxia, which is still used today to refer to the Chinese people, reflects a deep sense of pride and connection to this ancient period, even with its semi-legendary status. The Xia dynasty, therefore, represents not just a potential historical reality, but also a foundational element in the narrative of Chinese civilization, bridging the transition from prehistory to the more well-documented periods of Chinese history. The ongoing archaeological work continues to shed more light on this formative era,